Auckland City FC is an association football club based in the suburb of Sandringham in Auckland, New Zealand, and you might have heard of them because they have been the worst side at this edition of the Club World Cup, conceding 10 goals against German giants Bayern Munich, 6 more against Portuguese behemoths Benfica, although they had a valiant effort, almost reaching half-time with a 0-0 score if it wasn't for a late penalty goal by Angel Di Maria, and no less than... wait a minute. One single goal against the mighty Boca Juniors of Argentina. And they equalized. Auckland City FC snatched a point of Boca Juniors. Words I didn't think I'd say. Unbelievable achievement, facing 41 shots no less. Fair play to them. Anyways, 3 legendary teams of world football facing a team of amateur Kiwis. That's right, amateurs, not to be confused with the other Auckland team, Auckland FC, that competes in the Australian top flight, the A-League. And this is where stuff gets confusing. To better understand how this team qualified for a competition of this caliber only to be absolutely battered by everyone they faced, we have to talk about the Northern League, the top tier of New Zealand football. Specifically, a football league that somehow manages to be both first tier and second tier at the same time. Confusing? Good. Let's unravel it. New Zealand is split into 3 regional leagues, and the Northern League is just one of them. The other 2, yep, you guessed it, are the Central and Southern League. These 3 make up the regional backbone of New Zealand's football pyramid. But instead of being 3 separate leagues below a sort of national league like you'd find in England, they are the National League, sort of. These leagues act like a sort of second-tier regional competition throughout the year. Teams like the mighty Eastern Suburbs, Birkenhead United, and today's subject Auckland City FC all fight for a top spot in this Northern League to qualify for the real top tier, the National League Championship phase, which runs at the end of the season. A sort of a playoff that takes the best teams from all regions and pits them together to crown a champion. But wait, you can't call the National League Championship a league, as it isn't one. It is just a short season, tournament-style competition featuring the best teams from 3 regional leagues, so this makes the regional leagues both second-tier and first-tier competitions at the same time. There is no upper echelon where you can get promoted, so that makes it a first-tier league. Confused? Great. There is no promotion to a higher tier, but there is relegation. From the Northern League, you can fall down to the NRFL Championship, the third tier, or wait, the second tier of football. God knows. Anyways, the pyramid runs deeper, that is what I'm trying to say. Now that we got all this information sorted, we can move on to Auckland City FC, the team that has a crest closely resembling one-time Romanian Cup and Super Cup winners FC Voluntari, was founded in 2004 at the same time as the now defunct New Zealand Football Championship. Huh? What is the NZFC, you ask? Oh, just the former New Zealand Top League, which was an actual first-tier league that got folded in 2021, had 8 teams and Auckland City won 8 of those championships. Moving on. The Navy Blues, as they are known, are the most successful club hailing out of New Zealand. Since the inception of the new league system, they have won the Northern League 4 times out of a possible, you guessed it, 4 times. And they have gone on to win the National League twice, once in the last season. Above from being the best team in New Zealand, they are the most successful club in the region of Oceania, winning the OFC Champions League a record 13 times, just 2 less than Real Madrid have, granted, in a competition of a little higher caliber, dare I say. The competition in the OFC Champions League is not exactly fierce, with clubs from Fiji, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, Tahiti, the Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, the Cook Islands, Tonga and the American Samoa competing for the title. Of course, with New Zealand. Only Hekari United of Papua New Guinea and Hiengen Sport of New Caledonia managed to snatch a title each from the grasp of Kiwi teams. Even though the OFC Champions League is not exactly the pinnacle of world football, it is a FIFA-recognized event that grants access to the Club World Cup to the team that wins it. Though Auckland City FC have garnered a lot of attention these last few weeks due to them being, well, smashed to bits by football powerhouses, they are not exactly new to the competition. They are in fact quite a staple of the Club World Cup, and to push the boundary a little further still, they are the team with the most appearances in the competition's history, participating in no less than 12 editions, followed by Egyptian team Al Ahly with 10. The reason you might have not heard of this team before is because they didn't really lose this badly before, due to the nature of the Club World Cup before this edition. It used to be a much more evenly matched competition, with giants like the UCL winner or the Libertadores winner joining later in the competition, making it unlikely for the little Auckland City to have to face them, as they usually just lost the playoff against Asian or African opposition. Unbelievably still, the little semi-professional club that is Auckland City FC boasts a bronze medal in the competition in 2014, so there's something to cheer about. They defeated Moroccan side Maghreb Tetouan 4-3 on penalties after a 0-0 draw. Then they went on to knock out ES Setif of Algeria 1-0, before eventually losing in a semi-final against San Lorenzo of Argentina 2-1 in extra time, probably with some help from Pope Francis's prayers for his favorites. But they were not done there. They pulled off a small miracle, defeating Mexican giants Cruz Azul 4-2 on penalties to seal the third place finish. Nerves of steel, I say. Despite what can be called a massive result for the semi-pro outfit, there are also unhappy voices in New Zealand, as Auckland City FC are not even the best club in the country, and not even second best. Those have to be Auckland FC, that I mentioned earlier, and the Wellington Phoenix. Wellington Phoenix is a well-established team in the A-League, competing since 2007, while Auckland FC is the new rich kid on the block that recently moved next door and won the title in its first season. And by title, I mean they finished first in the league phase, but they lost in the semi-finals of the final series to the Melbourne Victory. God, this is confusing. Despite being the far superior sides, their path to the Club World Cup looks close to impossible. Due to the A-League being part of the AFC, they would have to win the AFC Champions League, a competition with way stiffer competition, such as clubs from Saudi Arabia, Japan, South Korea or China, compared to the OFC, where competition is mostly comprised of carpenters or accountants. To this day, since 2006, when the A-League was affiliated to the AFC, Western Sydney Wanderers are the only side from the league that managed to win the Champions League back in 2014. Unfortunately, for both Auckland FC and Wellington Phoenix, they will have to continue watching their smaller brother Auckland City competing in the Club World Cup for the foreseeable future. As for Auckland City, this edition of the Club World Cup is equivalent to finding the gold pot at the end of the rainbow, as they are estimated to be paid a staggering $6.25 million just for participating. Taking into consideration that the revenue last year was around $500,000, I'd say that is not bad at all, wouldn't you say? All in all, fair play to Auckland City for putting Oceanian football on the map, for giving their best, and for securing the bag. In all fairness, that money is probably going to do wonders, both for the team and for New Zealand football in general. And I, for one, can't wait to see them have another go at it in 2029. That's if they'll qualify, which, let's be honest, it's more than likely. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, a comment, or both on this video. Press the subscribe button if you wish to see more content like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.